it's slack. For the sake of brevity, and we definitely are in that, this particular specification has been shown to prove a reasonable balance there. The rule of thumb has that was analyzed. This is by Taylor. The rule prescribes the level of federal fund rates as weighted sum of equilibrium real rates, and we won't get too much into that. Some of the dark patterns here. So thus, do it for that. Let's very quickly check on our time here. Quickly go to other parts, and we have time to do that. We have to do it very, very quickly here. And some of these we'll have to come back and literally just revisit. But over time we'll get all of these various machinations in here, and let's see if we can get to this is from the National Journal. The recession isn't over for many families. The Labor Department's new figures 2004 of this week show that a number of families with at least one unemployment person dropped by 1.2 million in the past year. It is down to 8.5 million. And the Wall Street Journal released a graphic here. Let me just go over to. This was released on the 23rd of April. This is the employment characteristics of family summary. In 2014, 8% of families, including one unemployed person, down from 9.6 in 2013. This is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. These data are employment, unemployment, family relations are collected as part of the current population survey. We've talked about that in the household survey, a monthly survey of approximately 60,000 household data in this release are annual. Families are classified either as married couples. Families are as families maintained by women or men without spousal present. There, the families unemployed, the number of families with at least one unemployed decreased to 6.5 million in 2014 from 7.7 million in 2013. Black and Latino families remain likely to have an unemployed member in 2014 at 14.1%, and at 10.8%, that's 14.1% for African Americans, 10.8% for Latinos, respectively. Then white and Asians at 7% and 7.5% for Asians. About two-thirds, 68.1% of families with unemployed members in 2014 also had one family member who was employed, about the same as the prior year. Amongst families with unemployed family members, 58.9% had at least one member who was employed full-time. That's up from 58% in 2013. Among married couples, families with an unemployed member, the proportion of families with at least one employed family member was 80.4% in 2014, up from 79.4% in 2013. Amongst families maintained by women, no spouse present, with an unemployed member, 48.4% also had an employed member in 2014. For families maintained by men, the proportion was 57.7%. Both proportions are little changed there. Families in employment, the share of families with an employed member was about unchanged at 80.1% in 2014. the likelihood of having an employed family member rose in 2014 for African American families from 75.7% to 76.4%, and for Latino families from 85.1% to 85.9%. The likelihood in these white and Asian families, little change, 80.1% there for whites and 88.5% for Asians. In 2014, families maintained by women with no spousal support remained less likely to have an employed member, 74.4%, than families maintained by men with no spousal presence at 83%. Married couples, let's see here, both husband and wife were employed at 47.7% of married couples. That's in 2014. The husband was the only worker at 19% of married couples. A relatively guarded figure. The wife was the only worker at 7.5%. We see some things happening there in the society. Families with children. In 2014, 43% of all families, including children under 18, are sons, daughters, stepchildren, adopted kids living in household, unrelated, not living in household. 34.4 million families with children, that's 88.7%, had at least one employed parent. Among the married families with children, 96.6% had at least one employed person. That was in 2014. Families with children with both parents working, 60.2%. The mother was employed at 69.4% there. And the labor participation rate, the percentage of the population working or looking there, for all mothers with children under 18 was 70.1%, very good there. And with a spouse present, 67.8%, remain lower than the rate for mothers with other marital statuses, 74.6%. Other marital status refers to a person who's never married or with are widowed, divorced, separated, married but living apart, etc. The unemployment rate for married mothers was substantially lower than for mothers with other marital status, 4% compared with 10.3%. Mothers with younger children are less likely to be in the workforce. Mothers with older older children. In 2014, the labor force participation rate for mothers with children under 6 years old was 64.2%, was lower than the rate for those younger children 6 to 17 years old. That's 74.7% there. The unemployment rate for married mothers of infants, I hadn't heard this one, 4.1%, was substantially lower than the rate for mothers with other marital statuses, 15.6%. In 2014, 92.8% of all fathers and children under 18 participated in the labor force. The rate for married fathers with a spouse present was 93.7% there. Married fathers had a lower unemployment rate at 3.2% than fathers with marital status at 8.7%. And that is the latest there. And the Wall Street Journal, families still haven't fully recovered from the recession. Was there a situation here? And this is, we just went over this and some graphics here, and we'll get those graphics up at least on the blog talk segment. That'll do it for us. We'll go now and do the numbers. Around a little bit over time here, and we wanted to get into some sampling of work, but unfortunately we will not get to that. And we'll get to the markets here. We shall return to this. This is a continuing theme that has been around for a very, very long time. And hopefully, just 1 second here, many times, and this is the thing of doing it live here, going to markets, and hopefully well, nonetheless, the FTSE was at 17.03 and not helping us at all here. The markets are all over the place and a little bit hard here. Nikkei was down 167.61. This, we're going to have to correct this next week and see exactly where we 21.49, we hope. Wait a minute. It closed. Normally these are the FTSE was at 17 point. In Amsterdam they were at 1.01. The DAC at 87.27. In Paris they were at 22.54. In Brussels at 113.85. All these were on Friday. In Madrid at 79.60. They were down in Zurich at 36.13. In Moscow on Friday also at 11.29. In Johannesburg they were also down to 94.82. In Bombay in the negative 452.19. In Karachi 353.55 on Friday. In Lahore they were down 38.89. In Colombo 15.39. In Tehran on Wednesday 259.40. In Sydney 86.50. The Nikkei was down 167.61. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong at 233.28. In Shanghai, they were also down on Friday at 20.82 in the negative. In New York, we gave that, and the Nasdaq will give again at 36.02. The Merck out in the city of Chicago at 4.76. In San Pablo, 909.37 on Friday, and in Mexico, 354.98. And we'll quickly do the commodities, and we'll get out of here. Brent crude, we hope. Brent crude up 48 cents at $65.33. The spot was at $64.92, up 63 cents. West Texas crude was down 34 cents at $57.19. The Forex was up $4. That's his gold, up $4.40 at $1,192.15. Dubai gold was up $8.10 at $1,194.10. Cocoa futures is up $83. Coffee futures up 70 cents. Sugar was up 14 cents. And let's see, anyone else we can find here. On the Euronext futures here, cocoa was up $49. Cocoa was up everywhere. And corn futures were down $1.15 there. Robusta coffee futures were down $16. So this will do it for us. For the consumer, we had plenty of information on unemployment, slack in the market, inflation rates. We moved around that. And one other item here, for those in business, keep your eye and make it a productive one. We'll get that right in a minute here. We're just sort of zipping around here. I just wanted to grab one other thing here, if we can find it. some things we've been doing here on